I have to or I get to. Originally published in June of 2024, revisited and edited August 2026. Hello, lovely soul. A couple of years ago, I wrote a newsletter about three very ordinary words, I have to, and three equally ordinary ones, I get to. At the time, I wrote about changing one phrase for the other as a simple gratitude practice. Recently, I came across that reflection again and found myself thinking, well, yes, but also not quite. I still believe there can be something surprisingly powerful about changing the language we use. But I also no longer believe every I have to needs to be transformed into an I get to. There are times we really do have to do things we'd rather not do. The laundry isn't necessarily a sacred privilege. Neither is standing in line at the bank. And I am certainly not going to tell someone who is absolutely exhausted from caring for others that they should simply be grateful they get to do it. Sometimes an obligation is simply an obligation, and other times life is challenging. Pretending otherwise isn't gratitude. That being said, there are other times again when I have to has become such an automatic part of our vocabulary that we no longer notice what sits underneath it. I have to go visit my friend. What if it becomes I get to spend time with someone I love? I have to go for a walk. Perhaps can turn into I get to move my body today. I have to make dinner. We could say I get to nourish myself with something I enjoy. Nothing about the activity changed, only the way we looked at it. And sometimes that tiny change is enough to help us notice something we'd begun taking for granted. I think that's what interests me about these words today. Not forced positivity, not pretending every responsibility is a blessing in disguise, and certainly not adding another thing we're supposed to do correctly. Simply perspective. Because language has a curious way of revealing where our attention has gone. When everything becomes something we have to do, life can begin to feel a little like one enormous list of obligations. Wake up, work, cook, clean, call, drive, exercise, help, repeat. Yet, hidden among those ordinary responsibilities may be things we once deeply wanted, people we once longed to have in our lives, a home we once hoped for, work we once wanted the opportunity to do, a body that still allows us to experience the world. None of that means we must appreciate every moment. We are all human after all. But every now and then, it might be interesting to catch ourselves saying, I have to, and become curious. Do I truly have to? Do I actually want to? Or is this perhaps something I'm fortunate enough to get to experience? But familiarity has made me forgot. There is no right answer here. And that just might be the point. Gratitude doesn't need to become another rule we impose upon ourselves. Sometimes it can simply be a moment of recognition, a quiet, oh, I still get to have this. And maybe that's enough. As always, remember, be kind to yourself and trust what has always been within you. Sending love and blessings. Deanna. Soften the noise and remember your rhythm.